Well, super excited to be here today with you, Eden. It's been a little over a year now since we started working together. So much has happened since then. Why don't we just start with quick intros? Please introduce yourself and just talk a little bit about what Pragma is all about.
Yeah, so I'm the CEO and founder of Pragma. We are a back-end game engine, and I guess for those of you that don't know the space, nowadays, if you're making a game, you have to effectively make a Pixar, which is like all the beautiful animations and 3D renderings that you see, and then you have to make a Facebook, which is the social platform that connects players together. What we're trying to do is enable game studios to be able to build the social connectivity without having to roll a custom platform every single time. So what we're really trying to do is enable that social multiplayer side of games, which is a space that we're seeing grow more and more as games move from these box products that you might have went to GameStop and buy this sort of like box products to now these living, breathing games that are updated every season.
Awesome. Well, so we got a bit of news today. You just announced that you raised $12 million in Series A, adding David Thacker at Greylock to the board, Amy Chen to the board. Maybe you can talk a bit about what you were looking for, investors-wise, angels-wise for this round, and how did you ultimately, choose all of these different folks to join you on this journey?
Yeah, so in this round, we were looking for folks that both had experience in gaming and then had experience in infrastructure and tooling, which are two things that normally would not be in one person. So with someone like David, he led G Suite at Google and worked at LinkedIn for a long time. He really has a consumer and enterprise lens. So we really liked how David kind of was able to cross both. In terms of other amazing investors that we were able to bring in, Mark Pincus founded Zynga, Nate Mitchell founded Oculus, so they really have gaming lens. And then you have other folks like Amur Awadawala, who founded Cloudera, Will Hockey in the previous round that founded Plaid, who bring a lot of immense infrastructure and tooling expertise. So we were a little bit unique in the sense that we wanted folks that both understood gaming, but also understood how to make best-in-class tools and how to build a business out of making tools for someone. Amy has served on the board of Cisco, Informatica, Splunk, all three massive enterprise tools companies. And then she's also led massive teams at Google, been an entrepreneur herself, and now serves on the board of Procter & Gamble. So, I mean, really, Amy was like our first choice when it came to any board member in the world. Last but not least, you and I have known each other for quite a while before you made the investment, and we've had a lot of deep conversations around gaming, around tooling, and specifically, I really wanted to work with you because there wasn't really another venture investor out there that I really felt understood the games industry like you did, and understood really the problem that we were tackling. And we needed someone that had that lens because we were just getting started with no real proof points except for a thesis around there has to be something in this space. And we feel like we're the best people to build it. So I feel like you had that insight very early on because of your knowledge around the industry.
Well, so, when I first invested in you and Chris, it was really just the two of you. You guys had the idea, there were no customers, there were no product, and ultimately these things are always, people first for me. And you guys, it was quite the pleasant surprise for me to find out that the two of you already have known each other for years. Like you said, you and I have known each other and talked quite a bit about games over the years. I've actually known Chris for a bit as well, separately. First when he left Riot and started his own gaming company. So it was awesome to see this combination of two founders who both really understood games, as well as one who kind of came from that business and sales leadership background, and the other who's just kind of a technical wizard and genius, and especially all things on the back end. And you guys were tackling this enormous challenge that has always plagued the game industry in my mind. How do you actually build out all the backend infrastructure so that your game can run smoothly and offer up interesting social and multiplayer dynamics for your players? That has always been rolled in-house. But frankly, with the number of game developers now, the orders of magnitude bigger audience size for what gamers are these days versus probably when you and I were playing games on our PlayStations or PCs back in middle school. It's about time that we have a standardized high function and high performance tool that all these veteran game developers can rely on. Instead of just you and Chris and no customers, you got a team of 15 veterans coming from all over the gaming and backend infrastructure space. You now have 3 veteran games teams as customers. Talk a bit about what you've been building this last year and a half.
So over the last year, our first order of operations was putting together the best team of distributed systems engineers in games. And we feel like we've done that. A bunch of our engineers were the lead engineers at some of the largest platforms in games that have been ever built. And second, we didn't really want to go into a cave and sort of isolate ourselves and dictate what we felt like a platform should need. We wanted to design the product with our actual studios and our actual customers. So we looked for the best studios out there and brought on folks like Pat and Jamie. Pat was the lead architect for BattleNet, founded a company called ArenaNet, which was $1 billion franchise, and then was the CTO for Amazon Games and is spinning up his new studio. And we're working with Nate Mitchell, who founded Oculus and has now spun up his new studio Mountaintop, and other amazing studios like that. And we are now launching a starter kit. So we had over a couple hundred studios reach out to us wanting access to our tools, knew this was something that we wanted to get to market as fast as possible. And now we're launching a starter kit, which allows studios who are in development to quickly get into game loops. So historically, a studio might have to spend months spinning up a game loop so that they could start working with outside players. But today, within a matter of 2-3 hours, we can get a studio into those game loops so they can start testing their game. When we're able to provide tools that help games become more engaging, more profitable, and are able to really drive a lot more engagement with their own customer base.
Yeah, you guys have done a ton, and it's not easy convincing some of the world's greatest video game creators to jump on and trust you guys and trust a startup at this early stage to be the backbone and the back end of their games. So for all the game developers out there, you heard what Eden just said. Definitely go check out pragma.gg to learn more about what they're building. And to end, Eden, any game you're playing these days with you or your team?
Yeah, so totally. So I now have 2 young children, so I'm not able to play as much as I want to, but the game that I do play once a week, I have a game night with a bunch of my friends, and we play Apex Legends from like 8:30 p.m. to like 1 or 2 a.m. We just go hard for the one day, and it's the perfect mix of a casual game that has some competitive elements, and it's a bunch of middle-aged dads that have one night to let loose. How about you, Kevin? What game are you playing nowadays?
Okay, so now I know exactly when to bother you every week. I've actually been pretty obsessed with League of Legends Wild Rift. I mean, I've always been terrible at MOBA games. Never got into them on desktop. Always got destroyed, but really like how they did it on mobile. I actually have a shockingly above 55% win record, so I think it's gonna keep me entertained for a while.
Thanks for learning more about Pragma. If you are excited about what we're doing, if you're excited about distributed systems or just working on the best tools in the world for game developers, check out our website, pragma.gg/careers, and you can see for the positions that we're hiring for.